Hello and welcome to Carbitrage Podcast, episode 95. I am Eric Berger, joined as always by my co-host Ryan Sinitsky. Hello.
Hey there, that's me.
How are you doing today?
Clear my throat, and now I'm doing fine.
Fabulous. We're gonna be powering through like crazy today. Hopefully
Yes.
to keep it as consistent as possible for our listeners. But
Yes.
the plan is next week for us there is the first Cars and Caves. I believe that's next week.
That's week after next.
Week after next. Is that right?
Yeah.
I'll double check on that. Anyway, we're trying to hit episode 100 on that day.
Yeah, so we have to kind of crank them out.
If we say the wrong day on the next episode or something like that, just bear with us.
We should just not say the day for the next
Yeah,
6 episodes.
we are recording on end day, and this episode will show up for you someday.
You are
and-
listening to this on the day located on the bottom right corner of the screen of your computer you are currently listening to us on.
Or
if you
upper
are on a
right-hand
phone-
corner if they're on a Mac.
Yeah, or if you're on a phone, you can go to your Android phone, pull the screen down, and it'll say the date on the top left.
Or if you have an iPhone, just wake it up.
Yes.
There you go.
Now, did you hear that Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk are having beef again?
No, I didn't know they ever had beef.
Oh, yeah, it's been like a chronic thing, like in the tech industry, that Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, like historically, have had like a huge beef with each other.
I didn't know that. Bezos is Amazon?
Yeah, Amazon and Elon Musk was
Who's
PayPal.
the Google guy? Is that Eric Schmidt?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
But no, and Elon Musk got his money from PayPal originally.
Right.
So
and SpaceX now.
yeah, and SpaceX now. And so when Jeff Bezos said he was gonna launch a bunch of satellites to give internet to the like the third world,
Yeah.
Elon Musk called him a copycat.
God, like the first world dick swinging of a multi-billionaire.
It's just hilarious. I hope there's
Wow.
like a Ferrari Lamborghini like dispute with them where it's like Jeff Bezos makes his own electric
As
car.
soon as one of them tries to buy the other, that will definitely happen. The Ferrari Lamborghini tractor thing.
I'm so excited.
That's going to be great.
Yes.
Oh,
You made
man.
a face when you drank your beer.
I did. So, yeah, this week, yesterday I had to kill some time down here, so I stopped at Total Wine because I had to replenish just a couple of hard drinks, and I needed some wine, and I got a Schaffenhofer Hefeweizen grapefruit. It was right next to the Stiegel Radler, which I also got, and I know I like that beer. This one is way more
It's a grapefruit
flavorful.
Hefeweizen.
It's good. Now that I'm past the first sip, it's good. It had like a really tangy zip to it.
Yeah,
the
it's
first
grapefruit.
sip. I know, but it's good. It's not $4 good.
Okay.
Anyway, so there's that. I see you have a Pepis.
I have a Bepis.
Pepis.
Yes.
Sounds good. Speaking of Musk, I'm going to hop right into stories just because this beer is kind of mediocre.
Yes.
Remember last month we talked about how happy we were that Tesla finally gave us the promised $35,000 Tesla Model 3 offering.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was trying to look for one earlier yesterday.
The standard range cars, yeah, they were on sale, and just as quickly as they showed up out of the blue, they are now gone. You can no longer buy a $35,000 Tesla Model 3. And why
How
they've
many-
done that,
I wonder how many they sold in that time frame.
I'm sure we'll find that at some point. I don't have that data in front of me yet. But now they're bringing the $35,000 entry up to $39,500 plus a $1,200 destination. However, they are giving you standard autopilot now, which was like a
That's kinda cool.
$3,000-something option.
At least they're giving you something for it.
Right, but I mean, this is a company that needs to maintain that price point because their tax credit is almost gone entirely. So,
think-
like, in order to be
Well,
competitive,
you know how fast they change. They're probably the second that tax credit is gone, they're
Yeah.
gonna do that. So they're probably just trying to
Exactly.
get in on any profits possible.
but just watching like their movement the last couple of months has been just hilarious. Like they dropped the Model S and X prices like 20 grand, and then they bumped them back up 10 grand like 2 days later. Then they made a whole bunch of over-the-air upgrades and dropped the price on the Model 3. And then shortly thereafter, they took away some of those upgrades. And then they made enhanced autopilot cheap for the people that bought them in
You-
the last 6 months, and
you know
then they
what?
took that away.
It makes sense. I know
They're just honeydicking people. That's all they're
no,
doing.
what they're doing. Yeah, well, they're creating scarcity in the market. A and B, they're also, this is really creatively, making people not want to wait. because like if it's like a sale,
Yeah.
it creates a sense of urgency.
True. Like, oh, this is only here right now, so I got to do it now.
So that's what they're doing.
A good point.
They're creating a sense of urgency. So it's if you're sitting there and you're like kind of wishy-washy, I want to get Model 3, and then they're like, hey, it's $35 or $35,000 right now.
And especially if they give you like a date range.
Yeah.
Like when they made the autopilot cheap.
Yeah.
It was like, this is only good for a week. And like so many people, like they found a way to justify that $2,000 upgrade.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm sure that they'll probably be taking this way, then going back to $35,000 soon.
I think you're right. Once that, I think in June, when the tax credit finally like halves again, they'll probably drop it again.
I'm wondering, this is going to create a really interesting kind of thing for cars in like 30 years when these are collectors.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have like, oh yeah, this is the $35,000 base model. And then, this is
super rare one.
This is the really rare one that had autopilot and also had ludicrous mode or whatever.
Right. It's gonna create some really weird combinations of stuff. And that was actually a post I saw in the local Tesla group yesterday. Like, with all these changes, how do you think the assembly line's happening? And I likened it to a Taco Bell kitchen. I'm like, the Tesla Model 3 has like 5 hardware configurations. They can roll with the punches.
Yeah.
There's like 3 different battery packs. There's 3 different sets of motors, and the rest of it's software. Like, it doesn't matter.
You just change the software.
Right. It's like does
change
this have sour cream in it? Does this have chicken or ground beef in it?
It reminds
sitting
me
there ready
of
to go.
the fast tooling changes that they used to do in the 50s, where every single car was completely different every year.
Oh yeah.
Because they, a lot of like GM and Ford and everybody, they had that technology left over from World War II because they would be able to switch over from like one design to another for tanks.
Sure.
And so after World War II, once they started making cars, they started doing these yearly updates where it's like, hey, now you've got this ridiculous fin. Oh, now you've got a wing. And it's like,
Yeah.
Now actually the entire like quarter panel is coated in stainless steel. So,
But only for this 1 year.
yeah, for 1 year only. Oh, by the way, there's also fuel injection. It's gone next year.
It's going back to carbs next year.
Yeah, exactly.
For the next like 3 decades. So if you want fuel injection, you better get that Hillborn now.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah, it's an interesting take on it. It's a way different thing than I am used to seeing in a modern auto manufacturer.
this is you take everything you know about modern auto manufacturers and throw it out the window.
Pretty much.
That's why I started, when we started doing this podcast, I started like really researching a lot of pre-war cars because there's so many parallels between pre-war and like the modern EV market.
Well, specifically in Tesla. 'Cause, I mean, a lot of other manufacturers that are making EVs,
Well,
they're just making
the-
gasoline vehicles with EV powertrains, and they're doing it on the same production lines with the same, same tooling.
Like a horseless carriage. Anyway, speaking of internal combustion engines,
Yes.
you read about that guy that put the Integra Type R into a barn, right?
I was scrolling past an article earlier this week that had a dude who quarantined off with OSB a section in his barn.
Yep.
But I thought it was a NSX. I didn't click on it.
This is it. It was an Integra Type R, and he cornered off a section of his barn and he walled it in, so nobody would steal it, basically.
Okay.
Which sounds ridiculous if you're not a Honda person. However, I guarantee you, every single person that owns a $200 or more expensive 88 through 2000 Honda Civic or 86 through 2001 Integra have all seriously considered doing this at some point.
Like, how much trouble?
Yeah, my thing was my Civic at one point I actually considered putting it on like an abundance of ratchet straps and ratcheting it up into the rafters of my garage so thieves can't get at it. Because there was a week where every single one of my friends had their car broken into or stolen.
Yeah, but ratchet straps? That was your first inkling?
Yeah, just get off the ground where they can't get to it. Perfect. Just get like 45 ratchet straps.
Watch, like, you're going to come in and like the engine will be dropped out the bottom or something like that.
I know, that's actually why I like eventually did not even attempt it. Because I go there and go, actually, now going to think that everything that I want not stolen would now be at easy access. Except I thought most of the car thieves in Minneapolis are like 5 feet tall, so there's no way they could get to it.
This car isn't brand new.
No.
It has 80,000 miles on it.
Yes.
So
But that's still worth the cost of walling that in.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure it's probably worth
It's
a ton of
also
money.
got the $2,000 air conditioning option.
I do see that. Although it's Canadian dollars, so
Yeah.
it's like 15 cents American.
1,500 or something, but still, it's with the air conditioning and everything. That's still well worth it. It's one of those things where, if you're a Honda person, you
But
want
it's bone stock, which is really
yeah.
cool.
If you're a Honda person, you would 100% understand this. If you are not a Honda person, it doesn't make sense. And you can see here, $30,000 is
That's
the asking
not that
price,
bad.
and that's if you buy that at $30,000 right now,
Yeah, you'll be
you
doing fine.
you will get a return on that within 5 years.
Of course. Yeah, ITR stock ITRs just don't exist.
No, I've seen like probably
I like that cover
5
craft
in my
premium
life.
car cover. That's very nice.
That
That's
looks
like
really
that car lingerie.
it is. It's true, but yeah. So there's that. I 100% get it. And,
Yeah, I do too. I would consider doing something like that.
When I first read this, I said to my coworker, I'm like, no, he's like, what? What are you talking about? Like, you've never owned a Honda, have you? He goes, no, of course not. He's like, I've owned Audis and I've owned Subarus. And I'm like, what is this?
A, get away from me, and B, ugh. C, I get it.
But I explained to him, I'm like, yeah, if you own a Honda, you just accept that unless your car will be stolen unless you buy land out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
It is not registered to your name. You build an underground bunker. You then park the car in the bunker. You have it climate controlled, and then
I assume this was climate controlled.
it must be, yeah. You have it They have power in it, so yeah. You have it climate controlled, and then you take the driveway and you cover it with dirt, and you just hide everything. That's the only way you will not have your Honda stolen.
I just don't understand why he made the room so big. Like, it doesn't need to be anywhere near that big.
Well, it looks kind of like a man cave almost.
Well, yeah, but like, did he ever go in there?
Maybe intended on buying more than one.
Ah, it could be. He just found one clean one locally.
Yeah. And
Did it say what year he bought it?
no, it didn't.
Huh. Because, I mean, it has 80K on it, so it must have been like 10 years after it came out.
Yeah, probably. You probably bought it like 2006.
Yeah, that would make some sense. I do like the red cloth sporty
They're,
seats.
like, awesome. And they still keep the
Yeah.
black plastic little tray in there.
Heck yeah. Oh, walled inside for 10 years, so 2009.
That was right. Pretty close. I said 2006.
Yeah, that's close.
So, yeah.
You
but-
didn't go over, and you were close.
Let's hit the price is right.
Oh,
So, but yeah, that would be, that makes sense. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Of course, according to all the Honda forums and everything, might not be a perfectly true story, but whatever. It sounds great in a
I
headline.
scrolled past it. They're like, this just reeks of theft and like statute of limitations. But I don't get the impression that this person stole this car and hoarded it.
No. Because yeah, when you get these cars, it's not worth it to steal it and then have the statute of limitations because the cars would be so hard to move when you can just part the car out.
Right.
Like that car is, I mean, it's worth more than some of its parts, but I mean,
Is it on
That-
jack stands here, or were they that high riding from the factory?
it's on jack stands. Yeah.
Okay.
What
What if that's
I
bad for
think
the
like
suspension?
probably I'm just breaking down how much you get for that. I mean, you could probably get 10 grand in parts off of that within a night. So,
Oh, jeez.
yeah.
Ah, it's starting to make sense now.
Yeah, you see what I mean. Like that car will be totaled out within an hour of being stolen.
Right. It'll just be a rolling shell on 4 donut spares.
Basically, yeah.
I've seen that happen. Back
Yes.
when TPG used to live off of Maryland and Dale.
Oh.
And
Yeah,
I left some.
I get it. Nope. Say
Yeah,
no
some
more.
weekend mornings, I saw some very sketchy looking Hondas with no body panels and 4 donuts and no drivetrains sitting in the streets.
I feel bad for all these people that have Hondas that don't have a spare tire anymore.
Oh man, right?
Because there are always so many donuts in the world. Anyway,
Anyway, sorry.
let's
yeah.
move on.
Yep, that's indeed. Next thing I want to talk about is completely local, not at
Okay.
all national news. It's welcome to April in Minnesota, where we get one freak giant snowstorm per year now, apparently.
Yeah, no, we had at work the day before yesterday. I had snow, I had blizzard, I had hail, I had sleet,
Yep.
I had dust storm, back to hail.
Yeah, all the snow in front of my house when I was shoveling, it was brown on top.
Yeah, there's this big dust storm that came through. It picked up that storm picked up all this dust and West Texas and in New Mexico, and brought it to us.
That's incredible that dust can travel that far.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the snow was literally brown on top, and you like shovel it, like this white snow on. I don't get it.
Well, I was like sitting there at work, and I was looking out the window, and I'm like, is it just me, or is there like a brown miasma in the air? So like, I got a piece of paper that I knew was perfectly clean, so I pulled it out of the printer, and I took my flashlight camera, or my phone flashlight,
Yeah.
and I hold it up, and I compare the whites. I'm like, yes, there is in fact a brown miasma.
That sounds like how Modi would operate if he were a
Stop it!
computer.
Stop
Stop.
it! Stop it! I don't like you. Stop!
Computer, stop.
Stop!
So anyway,
Sorry.
people. I mean, I had to think about this too because I switched my daily driver back to summer tires, and I do mean summer tires, Pilot Sport 2s.
LOL.
So, I mean, I have two vehicles that still have winter tires on. I had the Fiat, which was down here at the studio, my garage in Chanhassen, and then I had the FJ Cruiser in front of my house.
No, so you took the FJ
I
over.
did.
Yeah,
it
of
wasn't
course.
currently insured, so I had to like email my new insurance agent, which I've never had to do before, and try to get 2 hours of coverage to take my brother and sister-in-law to the airport, which, boy, that was fun. He sends me like a new policy that I have to DocuSign and all this stuff. I'm like, dude, it's 2 hours.
Just sign
Just
up for me.
pretend I didn't say anything. But anyway, I did that, and I got to work just fine. But Corey also switched back to summer tires.
Yes.
And he, the next morning, had to, in the driveway that was full of snow, swap back to winter tires before he could go to work.
That's hilarious.
It did not look pleasant. I was watching him on the cameras.
It was, my friend Mocha, he posts a Facebook status, and it says, to all the people that switched their summer tires out already, LOL. I tagged Corey in that right after
Yeah.
he was talking about putting his winters back on.
I thought about swapping the Model S back to summer tires, but I'm just like, no, I'm just going to take the FJ. That's what I bought it for.
That
so.
was the last day of my bald tires in the van.
That was Thursday.
That was Thursday.
I think it was Wednesday.
Oh, yes.
That the day we had all this shenanigans.
Wednesday I did just fine. But Thursday was terrible.
Right.
But,
But I'm saying that the day
yeah.
that like the switching back of the switching.
But anyway,
Anyway.
yeah, no, I put on some Sumitomo HCRs, and not because I'm a little unhappy about that. It's not because I don't like the HCRs. I wanted a better tire for summer. However, Tire Rack does not have their shit together, and they don't have like they don't have any more than 5 tires of the same type in my size in the entire building. So like I had to go to the one where it was like, yeah, we have 7 in stock, and I'm like, all right, well. Hopefully you really do have 7.
Right. I don't trust their counts anymore.
No,
'Cause, like
they're-
my whole thing with the winter tires for my car, like they had them in stock.
They were really good. Like I think our particular warehouse has like a different manager or something, because it's really hot garbage. And we've got a lot of new people at work there,
pretty
and
bad.
it really sucks.
Because yeah, my tires had to come from Maryland, and I missed the last snowstorm because of it.
Yeah. So Tire Rack, Minneapolis, Roseville. Warehouse, get your shit together. I'm gonna put you on blast everywhere
you
on
are
the internet.
not Carbitrage approved at the moment.
No, not at all. Like, and you know, mind you, I'm okay with Sumitomo HCRs. It's a great all season. It's really, really fun. And with my van, I honestly have more traction I'm ever gonna need. But I kind of wanted to try like the Z2 or the Z3 because they're like almost the same price. And
Are they still all season technically?
Or
Or are they summers?
Summers.
Okay.
But
Gotcha.
I've got enough wheels and tires floating around my house that I can get a set of winter wheels and tires for next year.
Well, so you're still on the factory wheels, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Good.
I
I
think
still
you-
like those. I know yours are bent and whatever, but
I get this a slight vibration. I balance
is
them
it a
out.
good vibration?
No, it's my thumb falls asleep after 45 minutes of driving vibration.
Yikes. That doesn't sound good for like things.
No, but you know the good news is it's a lot better because it used to be after 10 minutes of driving because of how bad those tires were. So
Nice.
there
You can
is
balance some of
that.
your sorrows away.
yes,
But anyway, yeah, we got 3 days of winter weather. It's still quite snowy outside, although it isn't snowing anymore.
no,
Now
it's
we've got-
36 degrees. It's gonna be melted by Monday.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 40 and sunny today and 50 and sunny tomorrow.
Good.
So I'm
So-
hoping that it's all gone by Monday and we can actually get to car season.
This is what we call March Part 2 Electric Boogaloo.
March Part 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Okay, I do like the word boogaloo. It is one of my favorite English words.
Well,
I'll right
like,
up there with allegedly.
It's like March is always a snowy, just shithole month, and so it's just turned into that for a second time. But warmer
we just
now.
got honey-dicked super hard.
Yeah, we did. Now, speaking of vehicles you drive in summer, Hagerty always has their collectability list. They have the top 25 and the bottom 25.
Okay.
They just released their bottom 25. And do you remember, I just want to go back about 15 years.
Okay.
Every person that you would talk to that was not into like Ferraris would assume that if it's not made in America, it's not a classic. In fact, I once had a person say, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, anything made after 1973 is not a classic.
They're wrong.
His name is Casey Cook, and he was the head mechanic at the BP that we used to work at.
He's not
I'm
intelligent.
calling him right the fuck out. I'm being wrong.
Everyone go send him hate mail.
But, yeah, so it wasn't just him. There were several people. Like, if you go back to the 50s, that's full of incredibly old men
Yes.
that
Yes,
call
it
women
is.
sweetheart.
Just the...
Yeah, just misogyny.
If you take a PC woman through back to the 50s, they are going to probably...
They're going to
murder
lose their mind,
somebody.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just because it's a bunch of old men that do not even care.
They're the ones who used to slap their secretaries' asses. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, anyway, those people were always... They would always say, oh, classic America cars, 50s cars are the ultimate collector. You can't get any better than that. It's the best time in America. And I kind of agree, for America at least. But as far as overall collectability, yeah, they're not that great. Now, I still do like those cars. Don't get me wrong. I'm actually very happy to hear about this news because the bottom 25 of the collectability list,
Yeah.
I'm going to read the 5 slowest appreciating and potentially even depreciating cars. The 46 through 48 Chevy Fleet Master, which is one of my favorite Chevys. They don't have a picture of it.
Oh.
A 53 through 54 Bel Air. 53 through 54 Chevy 210, which is the base model of the Bel Air.
I like the next one.
The Cadillac Lante. Also, that's on there. Like 6 months after the Cadillac Lante Owners Club raised a big stink about being the honored mark of Concours de Lemons back in August.
That's high praise.
The 49 through 53 Rocket 88. And then 6th place is a 4-way tie between the 2005 through 2006 Ford GT, the 68 through 82 Corvette, which is the
Garbage.
third gen
C3.
Corvette.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Shoebox Mercury, which is actually kind of shocking to me because that one's that's equally as classic as the Tri-5 Bel Air. And then yeah, so that's just. I mean, I can keep going on this, but some other highlights. The 924 is on there. The Pagoda's on there.
Really?
Yeah.
I was surprised that the Ford GT, the second gen Ford GT, was on there. Actually.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
surprised the Ford 308's on here.
Yeah, well, the Ford GT makes sense because it had such a high survivability rate.
That and I feel like they appreciated a lot like 5 years ago, and they
that's-
kind of stagnated.
Yeah, and I should also say that this is just
Volkswagen
not
thing.
appreciating. These are cars that are slowly appreciating, so you can still buy them and enjoy it. It's just like you're not gonna be. It's not gonna. This is like a okay performing stock. It's like investing in Cisco.
This is a CD,
Yeah, exactly.
not a stock option.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But yeah, then the Volkswagen Thing is up there. The Mercedes W108, 109, and 111s. The Alfa Romeo Spider Spica. The 76 through 89 911 Carrera Turbo 930s. Those ones are up there. And then the third gen Camaro. Shocking.
Shocking.
But no, this list is largely dominated by, baby boomer collectors.
Right.
These are all cars like
That makes sense. I mean, that's not cars that people don't care about, but it's definitely stuff predominantly purchased by boomers.
Well, yeah, it's the things like cars are they're based off of what you wanted as a kid.
Well, right. I mean, that's the C3 Vet. That's
Yeah.
the Ferrari 308. That's the Porsche 924. It's
the-
all growing up boomers or
Yeah,
like
the
childhood
early
cars, which
50s,
is the shoebox.
the early 50s.
Tri-5.
Well, the early 50s American cars were also desirable, as like the Honda Civic is to us.
Right.
So
I mean,
I should note
at the time, 50s American cars were best in class, best in the world.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I should also state that the Tri-5
Yeah.
Bel Air is not on that list at all because that car is it's holding its own, and that car is so iconic. It will, just indubitably hold its own.
Yeah,
Like, it's not gonna go down.
That'll remain relevant
Yeah.
pretty much despite everything around it.
It's kind of like the 50s Bel Airs. You know, that's one of those
Would it
cars
be
where
Bell's Air?
no, it'd be Bel Airs.
I'm not sure if it is. I think it's
But no,
Bell's Air.
that's one of those cars where it's like a millennial wants that car
Yeah.
as much as a baby boomer wants that car. And there, like every single generation of cars, you have that. So you have the Bel Airs for the 50s cars. I'd say for the 60s cars, probably the second generation Corvette, like the split window Stingray would be up there.
I would say 64.5 Mustang.
Yeah,
It's
or
probably in
64
there.
and a half Mustang, exactly.
Late 60s Camaro.
Pre-war Duesenberg Model J.
That's not from the 60s.
I said pre-war. I said for pre-war cars, that'd be it.
No millennials know what a Duesenberg J is.
Well, that's the thing is most millennials don't know what a Tri-5 is, but the people that are into cars and want something of that era will go to that particular car.
Where am I? Help me.
I'm just wondering of like kind of the rad generation, what we are into. What do you think will be the car that has the most staying power?
With the universal appeal like that, though?
Yeah, with the universal appeal.
Rad generation, well, for sure NSX, first gen NSX. I think that still qualifies, even though it's technically not 80s.
No, I said rad 80s and rad is 80s and 90s. So
That car is universally liked,
yeah, and it's kind of affordable relative to like a
Yeah.
McLaren F1
or
so.
compared to a Ferrari of the same vintage. Although
Yes.
right now the 340 it's quite a bit cheaper than a good NSX.
Yes, it's true.
Also
340,
quite a bit worse.
Yeah, there's a reason they're cheaper.
Beyond that, stuff from the 80s and 90s that has the universal appeal, I don't think the C4 Vet's up there. So
no, God no. I would say
NSX
I think
is my
for
pick.
the 80s car,
Yeah.
I would say the DeLorean.
Sure, okay, that's a good one. That will maintain
And I'm
relevance.
struggling to say. I want to say the E30 M3.
Yeah,
But
that's not a universally loved car.
that's what I
though.
was gonna say. That car, if you know about it, you're gonna love it.
Right.
Everybody-
There are plenty of people that walk by during Cars and Caves that have no idea what that car
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. But if you have a DeLorean, everybody knows the
is. And
DeLorean.
if you have an NSX,
Everybody knows NSX.
people knows what an NSX. People knows what an
People's
NSX.
knows what's
People says
Ms.
knows is about the NSXs.
Yeah, and I think those two cars will be it.
English is my second language. I am Estonian.
I think I almost want to say the Mark I Golf and Rabbit as well as a budget.
Again, that's kind of like the E30 though. It's not a universally loved car.
because like everybody that could go for the Golf and Rabbit could just as easily go for a Civic and get a better car. But
accurate.
yeah, but it's one of those things.
The
where-
universal appeal is the tricky bit.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that's why I would
think
say
the
I would
DeLorean's a
say
good
the Honda
pick, though.
Civic, but I know that the Golf exists. Like
And neither one of them are universally appealing.
no, because for everybody that says that they want a Honda Civic. There's two other people that drive Porsches. that
Nissan
are just
Stanza Wagon.
douches.
For sure.
Yes, actually, the correct answer is the Nissan Stanza Wagon, the Daewoo Lanos. Those are the two best cars of the millennial
Welcome
generation.
to Carbitrage, where autism broods.
Hey, can we get this 924 off the screen? It's disgusting. looking.
Here, let me blow up. Let
I
me
really
blow
don't
up
want
this
to.
308.
That's much better. Magnum PI. Tell me about the mid-engine Corvette burger.
All right, so Chevrolet has not really given us any details, nor have they confirmed that it is mid-engine, but we've seen a lot of spy shots, and now they have given us an official date, much like Tesla did for the Model Y announcement, where they're going to announce the car. So I don't know why people are doing this and just building suspense, but here is their official website. It says, "Don't get left behind. Next generation Corvette reveal event 071819." Which is some month in the 18th day of 2019.
I really, that just is the most disgusting looking.
That's a really bad ad. Yeah. It looks like Jalopnik from 5 or 6 years ago. It looks like a Gawker Media page.
It does. That's exactly what that looks like. And you do graphic design. And
I do,
such.
yeah.
Does that font give you as much cancer as it gives me?
Yeah, the fact that they just arbitrarily italicized at 2 different angles. I don't know, the visual hierarchy's bad. The kerning's okay. The letting's fine.
No,
but
the kerning's awful on the numbers because look at the look at the 07 and then the 18 and the 19.
yeah, it's I forget they call it phonetic kerning or something like that, where there's 2 different types. Where one is done with mathematics, and the other one's done basically visually. And that one is definitely done with mathematics.
Just do it visually. Why would you do it with math?
Well, whoever designed this inbred font definitely doesn't know anything about typography, so it's fine. But yeah, they need to spread out the 18 and the 19 space to match that 07 if they're going to go with that.
You know, this person got their job from our tax dollars.
Government Motors?
Yes. This person is
Assuming
like,
they were hired during the bailout.
or when they were paying off and they're still under government ownership.
True, that's true.
And to get the job to do this scale of ad, like, you don't give the reveal of the Corvette to the intern. You give it to people that actually have been there and know what they're doing.
Like Bob Lutz?
Yeah, like Bob Lutz and stuff. So
Look at this vehicles tab. Cars, small cars, electric, performance, crossovers, SUVs, trucks, and vans. I like how they start with cars.
What's an SUV isn't in crossover?
Probably the Tahoe and Suburban? Let's click it and find out. Yep.
Yep, Tahoe and Suburban. That is
Tahoe
it.
and Suburban.
Okay.
Ugh, God, look at those artsy shots with those teeny base wheels and the redneck.
I like the
Side by
base
side.
wheels. I'd rather have the base wheels, big knobbly tires, than have the big, like, 20-inch.
I would rather not have that vehicle.
No, I mean, I'm saying I don't want that vehicle, but if I had to have that, I'd get it with the base wheels.
Me
'cause
too.
The base wheels look a lot better than
One
the
of
giant
our
wheels.
SVPs has a Escalade of that body, the GMFO FM2 or whatever the hell it is, and it's got the 22s on it. Every time I drive that, I'm like, this thing sucks.
No, they totally do. It's like, hey, it's heavy. It's like cumbersome.
I've never
has
driven
horrible ride quality.
Something with 425 horsepower that's that slow.
Yeah, because you're carrying a house with you.
Yeah, and the brakes are really scary.
Yeah, I know they're really not fun to drive.
I was towing a trailer once with a GMT 900 Escalade ESV with a car on it, and I had to stop like in a hurry on Highway 55. I was convinced I was going into the back of this car. Just
Yeah.
foot welded down, and this thing was like leisurely dropping rate of speed. I'm just like, these brakes suck so hard.
You get why they have those like why speed limits are 55 now, because they have that horrific.
The
of a
lowest
vehicle.
common denominator, I give you,
Yeah, that.
the Cadillac Escalade ESV. There you
Yeah,
go.
a Suburban in a fat suit.
I think it's the same suit. It's just crappier.
No, it's a Suburban in a leather mankini. That's a better description of it.
Wow, that leaves a really vulgar taste in my
Isn't
mouth.
that gross?
Let
That's
me
really
wash
gross.
it down with some more grapefruit.
I think we should wash it down with some grapefruit and grab the bagpipes. Oh, before we do
what did
that,
we learn?
yeah. What did you learn? What did I learn? Or what did you learn? We can both go first.
Oh, jeez. I learned to not change out my snow tires on April 1st anymore.
There you go. I learned that with, I need to get this right, 1.7 degrees, minus 1.7 degrees of toe in the right front, minus 1.2 in the left front, minus 2.3 degrees of camber in the right rear, and 1.1 in the left rear, blown struts, very old springs, and bad upper strut mounts, that a set of Sumitomo HTRs will last exactly 41,000 miles.
And by last, you do acknowledge that you were driving on belts the last couple of days.
I know. I wanted to get the full life of that vehicle.
Of course.
I consider the death of the tire once I see cords. That is when it is actually dead. It's not like when Grandma has
We
to go
were
to
just
the nursing
talking
home.
about lowest common denominators on the road. I give you Ryan Sinitsky.
Well, see, that's the thing is, normally you consider the lifespan of the tire when it's effective. That's
Well,
like when
For me, it's dry rotted out.
Well, yeah, it's dry rotted out or when it's effective. Now, that's like when Grandma lives her entire life up till when she goes to the nursing home.
Yeah, okay.
The wear marks are the nursing home.
There's still some meat left there,
There's
but
meat
it's
left.
useless.
Yeah, she's not going to be doing anything. I mean, she's going to be really enjoying herself.
So you don't go to a nursing home. You just go, like, to Vegas and
Yeah.
start blowing on your
Yep.
fucking money.
Exactly, and that's what I did, and it lasted, and that's also with very very spirited driving the entire time. So I've got nothing but good things to say about Sumitomo because I really gave those tires like the worst kind of long-term road test. I expected those to last me 15,000 miles.
Well, I remember we did almost a year ago, probably. It was one of our first week's episodes where we talked about our favorite budget tire.
Yeah.
And that was your favorite budget tire.
And this is exactly what I mean. Is
so here's a long-term update.
Yeah, long-term. They're still pretty fucking awesome.
And all my long-term budget tires have gotten 3,000 miles or less on them, and they're all fine. So
this is my my daily driver, my road trip vehicle, my tow truck, everything. So my getting towed out of Snowbank truck.
Oh, yeah.
That happened only once, and that's once the cords were showing, and I blew out the right rear.
I should have posted that on Carbitrage instead of my personal page.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Did you get me doing it? Give me a thumbs up as I went past your house.
Yes, actually, I did. I'm like, he's definitely gesturing out his window
Yes,
in
I am.
reverse.
All
being
right,
towed
so-
by a $1,300 Ford Escape.
And you learned not to change your tires in April.
Yeah. Well, April 1st.
Yeah,
Anyway.
you don't do
I'm
that.
gonna wait now
Because you're an April Fool.
or at least put something fun at my house that has winter tires in the garage.
Yes.
Like last year, I used Mr. Wags. It was fine.
Yeah, I haven't
do
seen
that
him in
again.
a while.
Well, it's been in a garage since the fall.
Good. You should leave it that way. Also, Jeremy Clarkson's birthday was this week.
Yes.
We made a post on the Carbitrage page, but if
Yes.
Jeremy Clarkson did not see it on the page, you listen to our podcast, as I assume you do. Happy birthday.
Also join the Facebook page. There's posts
Yes, you should.
there.
Yes.
Facebook.com/probably Carbitrage. Let me check.
And also subscribe to our Patreon, please.
Yep, that's patreon.com/Carbitrage. And speaking of that, since we're talking on it, I'm going to be revising the Patreon levels soon, and it will be opening up questions to everyone, and the higher end Patreon level will just be merchandise as a benefit. So
Yes. And we will be getting large quantities.
yeah, we'll
of
be
merchandise
we'll
in
be
the future.
ordering shirts and stuff in the future. Just stay tuned, bear with us. This is definitely a very part-time gig, but it's facebook.com/Oval Bore Podcast. Apparently that's the only URL I could get, and then patreon.com/Carbitrage. Thanks guys for listening, and we will catch you next time.
Thanks. See ya.
Bye.